Good evening, fellow pessimistic gardeners, and welcome back to the jungle. It's the evening because it's just way too hot during the day right now to do videos, unless I want to sweat myself to death, and I was already doing that in the garden today. Sorry for the noise of the air conditioner, but it's that time of year in Florida. Anyway, just doing a quick video on our avocados. This here is our Florida Hass avocado tree, which is a hard variety to find, and I've heard bad things about it, but we've had great success with it. Lots of fruits on it, and the fruits, most of them are still too small to harvest, but some of them are getting the right size. And if you're wondering, when do I harvest an avocado? When do I know when it's ripe? They will not ripen on the tree. That's a fact I learned since having an avocado tree. There's no ripening on the tree. Leaving them on the tree is the way to store them until you're ready to use them, which is awesome. It's a really awesome kind of fruit to have. So for these guys, basically you're waiting till they get the right size that you like, and that's when you pick them. You pick them, and then you're gonna set them on the counter in your kitchen. And with these Florida Hass avocados, my experience is it's anywhere from 8 to 10 days on the counter, and then they'll be ripe enough to eat. And you want these to be very soft when you eat them. They're gonna be hard and firm when you pick them, but after about 8 to 10 days on the counter, they're gonna be super soft. And I mean softer than the store-bought ones. So you know when you're picking one at that store, that little bit of give you feel, and you know this one's ripe, it's ready to eat now, I'm gonna take it home and eat it now, because if I wait a day, it's gonna be too far gone. These homegrown Florida Hass avocados, I have a different experience with. You want them to be quite a bit softer than the ones at the store, and they'll actually stay at the proper ripeness for a couple of days, unlike the ones at the store. So again, wait for them to get to the size you want. Even the smaller ones over here, which aren't the prime size at all, but believe it or not, you can still eat them. There's actually no avocado police. I don't know if you know that, but there's no avocado police force that is gonna come to your yard and arrest you if you eat the small ones. I don't pick the small ones, but this tree is very loaded with fruits, and it will be picking and choosing which fruits it wants to continue to grow, and it will be dropping the ones it decides against. And so what I do is I take those tiny ones that it dropped to the ground, bring them inside and see if they ripen. Often they do, and I'll eat them. Even though they're much smaller than they should be, they're still edible. They might not be premium ripeness, but they still taste pretty okay. So this is probably the smallest I would eat that the fruit aborts, the tree aborts. Much smaller than that I'll probably just let rot on the ground and become fertilizer for the avocado tree. But yeah, so avocados, you pick them when you're ready for them, and then, well, 8 days before you want to eat them. So this is a good size for a Florida Hass avocado. They will get bigger, but this is a good size when they'll still be edible and have a decent amount of flesh. So you can pick them at that size. This one's a little small. You could let it get a little bigger, or pick it now if you're really impatient and you really know you're gonna want an avocado in 8 days. You could grab that one, but let me see if I can find a bigger one. Okay, so after a little bit of hunting, I did find this one that's a pretty good size. This is about the size of the ones you're gonna be buying at the store, especially the organic ones. And again, this one could get bigger. With this Florida Hass variety, September and October are really the months when it's really pumping out the right size avocados and they're really ripe. But I'm impatient and I want to start eating them now because I love my homegrown avocados. So I'm probably going to go ahead and pick this one, let it ripen for 8 to 10 days. Again, it's going to be a little smaller than it could be, but I don't care because it's still going to taste just fine. Maybe not amazing, maybe not as great as it could, but it will get the job done that I'm looking for in some guacamole or some avocado in my burrito bowl. So this is about how it fits in my hand. Again, it's about the size of what you would get at the store, especially if you're getting an organic avocado. And the way I pick them is I just kind of give them a little bend back and forth until they snap off. If it's really hard, then I'll be like, okay, maybe not, that one's not quite ready to go, but that one snapped. I didn't have to pull too hard on it. So, gonna save this one, and in 8 to 10 days it should be nice and soft and ready to eat. And an update on other activities in the garden today. Planted some basil that may or might not make it because it's still so hot and humid out. Who knows what will happen. And I also planted some jicama plants. This is my first year growing jicama. A friend had some seeds and gave them to me, and we grew the seeds, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if we're successful with jicama. We'll check in a few months. Apparently they need about 5 months of warm weather to grow, and it's August now. We're cutting it close. Usually we're still pretty hot in December and sometimes in January, so maybe we'll have jicama, maybe we won't. And here's our herb garden that we were working on cleaning up to get ready for the fall. We've got here one of our tropical oregano plants, society garlic. They both made it through the summer. Rosemary. Those are all herbs that make it just fine through the summer. And then there's another basil plant I planted. If you're wondering what the powder is, that's cayenne pepper. I put it around freshly planted plants because the raccoons and skunks love to dig around my newly planted plants unless there's cayenne pepper. They hate that. They don't like it. So the cayenne pepper should protect them for the first few days. If it rains, I will have to reapply the cayenne pepper. And here's another update. This is another raised bed we're prepping. Put a bunch of chaya in it today and some Fakahatchee grass that we needed to prune. That'll make a nice mulch when it turns brown. And very exciting, it's the time of year when our papayas are really fruiting, so they're getting pretty big there. In a couple of weeks they should be ripe and ready to eat if we don't get papaya fruit flies tearing them up. We'll keep an eye out for the papaya fruit flies. If I see them, I will do a video on them for you. And last update of the day, here's our macadamia nut tree that was so nice and full of hundreds and hundreds of macadamia nuts this year, and I thought for sure this would be the year we would get some. But no, the squirrels ate every last one off this tree before they were even close to ripe, so I couldn't even beat them by harvesting them a little early. The squirrels got them all, hundreds and hundreds of macadamia nuts, and now I understand why one of my grandmothers was fond of having a BB gun and shooting the squirrels in her garden when she saw them. Not saying that's the right thing to do. I can't say that. As a vegan, that's obviously against my morals, but I can understand the urge to do so. But I do not have a BB gun, I'm not shooting squirrels, I'm just annoyed. And here's all my dead pepper plants that didn't make it through the summer because it's just too darn hot and humid in the summer, and pepper plants just don't like it. So yeah, they're all dead. That's what happens. C'est la vie, such is life, or whatever. I don't know. I don't speak French. Is that French? Anyway. So yeah, that's it for this weekend, gardeners. Not a whole lot exciting happening. It's just a lot of pruning this time of year to keep our trails open and our sanity intact. And I'll check in with you again soon, I hope, if I have something interesting to talk about. Enjoy your gardening, and remember not to let the bad things get you down, because it will happen, and just keep trucking along.